Hello and welcome back. First of all, thank you so much for the likes, comments, and welcome all new subscribers. I'm very happy that we are 199 subscribers now. Thank you again. I'm really happy, and I'm really happy to see that more and more people joining and asking good questions. That helps me to decide on the next topics as well. So once again, thank you so much. I hope you're all safe. Anyways, let's go back to our Defender session today. So today is more of incident response, and then how you can investigate further on an issue that happens on your endpoint. But while this was happening, Microsoft has unified all security solutions into one portal called security.microsoft.com. Moving forward, you don't need to go into securitycenter.microsoft.com, but instead to the new portal security.microsoft.com. I'm sure people who are using this portal already get notifications. So if you are on securitycenter.microsoft.com, you can, to make sure that every admins are redirected. Now the Microsoft has given an option called portal redirection, which means if anyone logins to securitycenter.windows.com or microsoft.com, will be then redirected to security.microsoft.com. So you can enable this so that any accounts in your organization who visits the old URL will be moved to security.microsoft.com. That's the first thing to do, and I'll give you an overview, a walkthrough of all the new security center or the new security portal. So this is where you redirect. Here is the new security.microsoft.com homepage, and I would like to show you what actually this means to you. Okay, so this is a unified integrated cross-domain security suite which protects endpoints, identities, email collaboration, apps and cloud apps in a single pane of glass. So this gives you a unified view. You can manage everything from a single window. I like this idea. It's much more easier than jumping back and forth between securitycenter.microsoft.com and then security.microsoft.com. I think it's a good approach. It's one view for us to maintain and one view to look at it. So if you look at it on this view, you can identify, investigate and respond to threats from the incident and alerts page, and then you can do threat hunting from the same place. So you can proactively hunt for threats. You can create queries, and then you can find out details about a specific issue that you have facing, and then you can do further investigations and action center to find out what's happening on what's causing issues, and then do further investigations. And your Defender security is under the endpoints now. So as the name changed from Defender ATP to Defender for Endpoint, the whole endpoint security is under here now. So you have your device inventory, all your vulnerability management that we discussed before, all the evaluation and configuration management. The menu sections that was in securitycenter.microsoft.com is now on the endpoints here. At the same way, you have the Office 365 email protection is also here now. So you can do your investigations, campaigns, threat tracker, all such things are under here, and the reports are also unified. If you go to settings, you will see specific settings for specific rules or specific centers like Security Center, Defender, Endpoints and Collaboration. So this is now moving forward the unified portal that you will be using on a day-to-day basis. I hope that gives an introduction on how things are. And then there is something called Learning Hub, which is also a great way of seeing and learning more things about specific topics that you are interested in. So I would highly recommend for any admin to look at the learning paths on all these things, and then learn more. There are short videos, something like this. But again, what I would want to do on top of these videos, Microsoft is doing an excellent job on those things, but my videos are more concentrated on real use case scenarios, real business scenarios that I face on a day-to-day basis. So I would say my video would be a complementary to the official documentations and official videos. So let's look at how you can manage incidents and how you can investigate further. This is what we are going to discuss today. So I used few malware samples on my test computer, and then as you can see, I start with the incidents, where it will show you a higher level view of the incident that happened to that machine with the timestamps, the state of investigation. They might categorize on what categories this fall under. So you will get an idea on what happened to the corresponding incidents, and then you can further investigate. When you click on an incident, it will take you to the alerts page. So to make it easier for us, and rather than taking time to load, I've seen some loading issues even on Chrome, on Edge Chromium. That's what, so I've loaded all these pages already, so that it's easier for me to walk you through. So this is basically an alert story. When you click on an incident, it opens an alert story which will give you a full incident response report on what exactly happened by that tool. For example, this one was an explorer.exe and it used 7-zip because I opened a zip file, and then from there it already detected and resolved those malwares actually. So if you can see, this is the entire malware alert story. I know it's a lot of alerts, usually though might not happen on a real case scenario. I opened basically a zip file consists of full of malwares trying to infect my machine, and see, as soon as I opened the zip file, Defender engaged, cleaned up, and then resolved all these alerts. But just want to show you, this is how exactly you can see what when something like this happens to a machine. This is how Defender reports you. But again, word of caution, please only ensure, I know it's a known thing, but I just want to say that please only test any malware samples or anything of that kind in a closed test environment, and not something to do with your production network or not in the same network. So please be very careful when you test those things. Now more than that, so you can click on one particular, let's say they created a file, for example this zip file. You can click on this to get further details. Once you explore this thing, you will get information about the SHA value, the path, the size, all those things, and then you can manage the alert from here. You could choose to, if you know that it's resolved, you can mark it as resolved, add your comments, those kind of things, and you get more information on the right page. Now if I select a file, for example, then you have an option to look at the file from a files view perspective. So that's what I did here. I opened a file, and then the file, then you can either collect the file for additional investigations. So one of the things that I do, as part of my, again, I'm not a malware threat hunter expert or something, but I try to do some sort of small investigations to find out, and then I get involved with my security team to do further analysis, but I do some sort of basic investigations. So as I said, you click on the alert, and then you can click on the file page. The file page opens, which gives you an overview. They compare this file with VirusTotal, and we give you a VirusTotal report. As you can see, this particular file is being detected by 31 engines in VirusTotal. It will give you malware descriptions and the detection details, and how many devices in your organization has this virus, and how many devices in worldwide happen. So first seen 3 years ago, so it's an old malware, and last seen is 13 days ago when I tested on my machine. And then it shows related alerts for that, and then you're observed in your organization. So it says this malware was prevented. That's my related alerts in the organization, where it is observed in the organization. Now there is something called deep analysis. This is something that I was really interested in, but the catch here is deep analysis currently supports only exe or DLL files. So this particular file is not supported for a deep analysis, but you can actually collect the file. What it does is it goes to the endpoint, collects the file, and then you can download the file. That's one thing that you can do. Or you can do a deep analysis. So I've done a known file as to see, to show you how a deep analysis works. So what it does is, when you click submit from the file section, it goes through three stages of collection. Basically, it connects the machine, tries to collect the file, and then upload the file. Sometimes you do get this kind of errors, but after some time it retries, and then it tries for 3 hours. So at some point it will be able to detect, and then they will give you a verdict whether you want more information about it. You can also add an indicator to block that particular file. Let's say it's something that you want to, it could be any exe that you said you don't want to run in your environment. You can basically add an indicator. So you can just select the file, add an indicator, and then say action is alert and block, just like what we did for our web filtering. So it's a unified option where the web filtering has a URL that you can block. Same way you can block using a file hash as well. So that's another option. You have an option called Threat Expert. I'm yet to see that in action because I've been trying to apply for this. It's a Threat Expert is a security service from Microsoft where they will help you investigate and remediate potential issues. But from my experience, it's still fairly new. They haven't accepted requests from all people yet. So I'm yet to explore Threat Experts. As soon as I hear from Threat Experts, I'll definitely make a video about Threat Experts as a separate video. So that's your file exploration, how you manage and handle the file. You can even stop and quarantine the file. In my case, this is a known file, it's a safe file, which is why I don't have that option. But you can block again, or you can collect the file. So these are the options on how do you manage these things. And on top of it, I believe I've mentioned automatic investigations when I started the initial videos. So what it does is, what I've set in my demo environment is, no matter what machine is it, as soon as it triggers an alert, it should go through an automatic investigation and then take required actions automatically. So as you can see here, it gives a nice picture on what happened, which file accessed, what is the evidence, and then it waited for some approvals and then got remediated. So that's a very good thing to do. Apart from that, you have your action center here if there is any specific actions that you have to take, or any notifications that is available here. One of the key things, as I always say, is Microsoft Secure Score. That's one thing that I constantly look at to make sure that my environment is updated. It goes across identity, device, apps. It's a very good point of thing that you need to always look at to continuously improve your posture, to continuously remediate any security issues. It could be a software weakness, it could be a vulnerability, or it could be a Windows update. It could be spread across a lot of places. So I would say look at the recommendation actions. See, for example, this is MFA for administrative roles. It has nothing to do with your endpoint, but it's more of hardening your Office 365 environment as well. Again, vulnerability management is one other thing that I keep looking at. I look at the exposure. This machine is heavily exposed because I'm constantly testing these things, but again, this looks at application, OS, network, accounts, and security controls. So if you are a Defender admin, your day-to-day activity must include recommendations on your vulnerability management and your secure score. Along with that, your alerts and all. So this should be your day-to-day, your day-to-day work activity must include these things to make sure that your environment is fully patched, fully updated, and more secure. And it's a constant updating mechanism that you eventually Again, security is not a one-day job that you did it and forget it. It's an ongoing job, it's an ongoing effort, and the whole point is rapid and continuous improvement in your setup. So I hope you have a general idea now, and then I'll be coming back with more such videos. Once again, thank you so much for all new subscribers and existing subscribers. Your likes and comments actually helps me, to be motivated and to deliver more videos. I hope you guys all stay safe, take care, and talk to you soon. Thank you.